episode of What's Inside. Today's mystery substance will be revealed at the end of today's episode. The first ingredient we have today is glucose, represented here by sugar.
Glucose is a monosaccharide that is a normal component of animal blood. Thus, it requires no digestion prior to absorption into the bloodstream.
It is a molecular compound with the chemical formula C6H12O6. Next up, we have taurine, an acid first extracted from bull bile.
Taurine is a conditionally essential amino acid, meaning that it is classified between the essential amino acids which your body cannot produce and the non-essential amino acids which your body can produce.
The chemical name for taurine is 2-amino-ethane-esulfonic acid. Now it's time for caffeine, most commonly known for its presence in coffee. Also known as trimethylxanthine, the chemical formula for this molecular compound is C8H10N4O2.
The shape of caffeine is similar to an important molecule called adenosine that regulates brain function. Caffeine mimics adenosine and binds to the same targets in the brain. Caffeine molecules bind to the adenosine receptors in the brain cells and block adenosine from binding. Adenosine plays an important role in the sleep-wake cycle, signaling to the brain that it's time for rest or sleep when it binds to the receptors. Since caffeine prevents adenosine from binding to its receptors, the brain is not told to rest, keeping you energized.
Our next ingredient is sodium citrate, an ionic compound most commonly found in spreadable cheeses.
There are three types of sodium citrate: monosodium citrate, disodium citrate, and trisodium citrate, but sodium citrate used for food is most often trisodium citrate.
As a conjugate base of citric acid, sodium citrate serves as a buffer, changing the acidity because it produces H-positive ions. In other words, when sodium citrate is present in a solution, it will require more acid than normal to decrease the pH of that solution. This is a useful trait as it makes it easier to make fine adjustments in acidity.
Inositol is a carbohydrate found in animal muscle with the chemical name myo-inositol.
It has the same chemical formula, C6H12O6, as glucose because it is synthesized from glucose.
Structurally similar to glucose, inositol is added to energy drinks because of its enhanced ability to convert nutrients into energy. It is found in phospholipids, which function as cellular mediators of signal transduction in metabolic regulation and growth.
Inositol is one of the key secondary messengers needed to accommodate the successful signaling of those profoundly important neurotransmitters. Inositol, dopamine, and serotonin work together to maintain consistent hormonal balances within the brain. Low levels of inositol can disrupt the functions of dopamine, serotonin, resulting in mood disorders and more.
Inositol improves the effectiveness of the major neurotransmitters in your brain, boosting alertness, concentration, focus, motivation, and memory. In other words, inositol gets a message from the first neuron that says it wants to send over a serotonin molecule. The inositol picks up that message and lets the receiving neuroreceptor know that there's an incoming serotonin molecule.
This week's mystery substance is Redbull! Join us next week for another episode of What's Inside?